Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The title of my presentation is Factors Affecting the Implementation of Curriculum Innovation in English Teaching in Chinese Higher Education, a case study, and which includes 4 parts: introduction, research design, findings and discussion, and conclusion. We know that in China, there are a dramatic change in the teaching of English at tertiary level in the last 2 decades. So in order to keep us with the pace of the China's globalization, and in order to meet the increased demands of the qualified personnel in new area, a new round of curriculum reform was planned since 2016. Therefore, in 2018, a national level program named National Standards for Teaching Quality of Foreign Languages and Literature was released and formulated, which aims at developing students' comprehensive language competence, intercultural competence, critical thinking ability, and innovative ability. And we all know that the understanding of curriculum is closely related to a number of contextual factors, which are key determinants of the success of a language program. So, the complex and unpredictable nature of the change process suggests that the occurrence of a large variety of problems will be inevitable in the curriculum implementation process. Extensive research has shown that it's hard to cope with such complex and unpredictable circumstances. From the previous studies which have conducted concerning English teaching reforms in China before and after century, but few have investigated the clarification of internal or external factors affecting the curriculum implementation process. And previous studies have also attempted to explore the implementation phase and factors mediating the phase reform adoption, but mainly focused on the analysis of factors contributing to the changes or examination of teacher belief and practice. Therefore, the present study intends to describe implementation of curriculum innovation in China through a case research approach to identify specific areas of implementation to fill up the gap in the literature. To be specific, the question is, what are the factors hindering or facilitating the process of curriculum implementation in this case study? And the study was conducted in faculties of international studies at Henan Normal University, which is located in central part of China. And this institute has more than 1,000 English majors for four grades who are taught by 67 teachers. And the participants selected includes 9 teachers and 3 administrators who are directly affected by the defined problems of the study. And they were selected because they teach English major courses and they are available for 2 40-minute classroom observations and 1 60-minute interview. And the data were collected from 3 sources, namely documentary review, interviews of teachers and administrators, and participant observations. About findings and discussion, the first part is about the teachers' general perceptions and the practice. From the close analysis of the interview data, which suggests that the teachers expressed deep concerns over the impacts of the new curriculum on themselves. For example, the high demand of the curriculum on teachers and the related changes required on them. As quoted by one of the teachers, Ms. Wang, who said, "The coming changes in the curriculum are very demanding on the part of the teachers. I need to improve myself in many aspects, such as teaching methods. It is like a long process of professional development." And concerns on the inadequate information about the new curriculum was also expressed. As quoted, "Until now, we only got information about general guidelines about the curriculum. We do not have enough training opportunities. More importantly, we still don't know the specific methods to put new policies into classroom use." And from the analysis, from the observation and after-class interview, we noticed that the teachers inclined to bring a change to the routine, but only in a very limited and insufficient way. We know that in the English teaching arrangements mainly include 3 parts: warming up, the analysis of the language points, and exercises. Some teachers try to insert the new materials about some international news report into the warming up section, but their purpose was to meet the demands of the new curriculum and cultivate students' global vision. However, the intentional practice seems to be insufficient. In the after-class interview, Ms. Chen mentioned that, "I know I need to stay close to the new requirements, but I don't think my new design works well. I can't link the content to the textbook. Most importantly, students do not engage into the new materials as much as expected." And the second finding is about the factors affecting the curriculum implementation. Based on the fieldwork findings, there are altogether 3 factors were found. The first one is teachers' paradoxical stance. The second is about students' English communicative competence, and last about organizational barriers. As for the teachers' paradoxical stance, on the one hand, the teachers appeared to be receptive to the new curriculum and tried to innovate their teaching practice. But on the other hand, the teachers felt that new curriculum set too challenging requirements for them to practice. And for students, they are expected to participate actively in the classroom discussion and exchange ideas with their partners, but they were observed as silent listeners while others were speaking. They made no constructive comments. This may derive from the fact that they were taught to be the passive information receivers instead of active providers. And students, they were very hardworking. That's why they can excel others in the college entrance examination and finally got enrolled in this university. But they got accustomed to the traditional teaching methods, which emphasize a lot on the memorizing the grammar or vocabulary, these kind of things. So once they were in a new environment, which provides them to contribute their own ideas, they felt that was too challenging and they were too passive in the observed classes. And last factor is about the organizational barriers. As for teachers' professional development, they complain that they cannot benefit from any professional community in the department or the university, and they cannot find any access to discuss teaching issues with colleagues and learn some innovative pedagogies. More commonly, they try to explore the new approaches on their own. And the data also indicate that teachers got limited support and professional training about the changes in the national policy. The university did take some measures to enact this national policy, but mainly about the interpretations of the requirements and goals instead of some practical guidelines and plans. So it seems common that university leaders adopt the top-down model to apply the national policy and make relevant regulations for the department teachers to carry out. Therefore, teachers were given little attention and teaching realities were ignored. Therefore, my conclusion is a mixture of factors work together to affect the implementation process of China's English curriculum innovation. The first is about teachers are actual policy actors, but their stance is paradoxical. Second, students' English proficiency and their passive attitudes act as another influencing factor. Last but not least, the findings identified some organizational barriers, such as lack of support for teachers in the innovative teaching improvement, mismatch between the national educational policy and university-level regulations. Therefore, this present study implies the significance of teacher perceptions and contextual factors in the implementation of curriculum innovation. Therefore, a number of social, cultural, and educational factors should be taken into consideration in the process. And the study may have some practical implications for researchers and administrators to take effective measures to meet the challenges and guarantee a smooth innovation process. Further research seems to be necessary to explore teachers' change experience during the whole implementation process to gain a deeper insight into the complex nature of curriculum innovation. Okay, thanks for your attention.